The 1920s were a roaring time for women to develop their own identities. A decade of extreme rapid change brought forth great transformations for women. Fashion changed during the 1920s drastically for women, especially those between the ages of 16 and 30. A year before the 1920s, women gained the right to vote in national elections. This liberation women were feeling was shown in the clothing and attire of the time period. With that being said, daring articles of clothing were becoming more and more popular among women. This new era of fashion rejected the previous Victorian style and turned to a more youthful and daring appearance. Advertisements promoted the risky behavior and fashion women were engaging upon. Ads showed women dressed in incredibly immodest for the time period. Women smoked and dressed in inappropriate clothing were blown up and shown all over cities. Women modeled this behavior and body language in everyday life despite the disapproval from many elders. Hairstyles of the 1920s were very distinct. Even today, the short bobbed cut or tight curled look gave women a boyish profile. Hair was considered to be one of the most important aspects of a woman's style and was almost necessary for hair to be kept groomed and frizz-free. The look was greatly romanticized throughout history and worn by many actresses throughout the era. The girls known as flappers had one of the most iconic looks of the 1920s. Known for heavy beading and bright colors, flappers were easily spotted in large cities. They were known for their heavy makeup and use of feathers and headbands, mostly to draw attention to themselves. Makeup consisted of dark, smoky eyes paired with heavy lipstick. This was occurring in a time period where such makeup was considered highly inappropriate only a decade earlier. These style patterns were made famous by the most influential and famous women of the era. This includes women ranging from Louise Long, a powerful woman in the news industry, to Colleen Moore, a famous actress in silent films. Women of this era saw these women and their new roles in society and followed in their example by what they wore. Women also copied the stereotypical behavior of the era, such as pouting and flaunting their sexuality. Overall, the 1920s was a time period of relaxed styles and showy flair concerning women's fashion. The style chosen by women of this era reflected the changes in lifestyle they were experiencing. As life became less serious and more about leisure and fun, clothing became less serious and more fun as well. Corsets were a thing of the past and instead were replaced with plunging necklines and outrageous stockings. Even today, in a time period where women have equal rights to men, women still carry the representation of this through the clothing they wear. Even if the feathers and big strings of pearls from the 1920s are gone, women can wear almost whatever they want, from yoga pants to short skirts. Even though the 1920s were just the beginning of equal rights for women, it was clear that through these feelings that these women possessed, that their rights would one day expand to how they are today. Fashion of this time is an indicator of this, and is definitely a step in the right direction.